What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Duckets and Darrius here. Just got finished watching what honestly to me felt like a season premiere of Raw. That's what it felt like to me.
Season premiere.
It felt like it was a season premiere of like Raw. I'm first and foremost, I'm Duckets.
And I'm Darius.
We sound alike, but we're not the same person. Just goes to show I'm
Not
not talking to myself. I'm not crazy. Slightly crazy, but anyways, Raw was on tonight. Monday, October 10th. Just went off about, I don't know, went off about 3 minutes
10
ago.
seconds ago.
Maybe 10 seconds ago. Who knows? Went off kind of late.
Yeah, it did go on kind of late.
A lot of stuff happened tonight. Um, Triple H got fired. He didn't really get fired. It wasn't like, you're fired. But it was kind of like, yeah, we don't need you anymore. None other than his father-in-law came out and let him go. I wasn't,
Vince McMahon.
yeah, I wasn't too surprised about that at all.
I wasn't surprised about that either. I knew
Um,
exactly what was going to happen as soon as he came out. I was like,
right.
oh, game over.
But I was surprised at the fact that he said he agreed with Triple H. Though I was surprised
True.
at that. I thought Vince was going to come out and be all like, you're not doing nothing right." Vince came out and was like, I like what you're doing. Because technically, if you look at what Triple H is doing and how Vince had did it, it's practically the same thing.
Pretty much.
Chaos. Attitude Era was what? Chaos. You got Stone Cold with a beer truck. You got the corporate ministry. You got Degenerate DX running around whooping everybody's ass. China being the Intercontinental Champion. The Attitude Era was pure chaos. Then they went to the PG era. Another thing I wasn't really surprised about was Cena, Sheamus, and CM Punk coming out. I wasn't really too
Right.
surprised about that.
That was awesome, though.
That was
I gotta
awesome.
say, that was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I could have watched the whole night just like that.
Right. They came out. They spoke their words. They all said, John Cena made some valid points. John Cena was like, I do it for the fans. You know what I mean? CM Punk came out and said, if anybody should be walking out, it should have been him. But he wasn't walking out. I mean, he, of course, everybody knows. Or if you don't know, CM Punk did put up a bunch of, unfairness type crap. But he did it for a reason and almost sort of kind of got the job done in a sense. But like he said, he didn't break his contract. His contract was already expiring anyway, so he was pretty much like, whatever, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out with a bang and come back, but I'm still gonna go out with a bang. So,
Right.
CM Punk did, like he said, he did his for a reason. Everybody else, they're just doing it. I kind of feel like they're following CM Punk, but taking it to the next level, which was
Mm.
stupid to me. But yeah, what ended up happening was, CM Punk was on commentary, which was pretty funny. He was like, "Can I wear the blazer?" He was like, "You can even wear my blazer." He said, "I'm
He's
in."
like, you can even wear it. That was pretty funny.
That dude was like, Punk was like a little kid. Yeah, he was like, "Yeah."
I don't think that was written out. I seriously don't think that
I
was
don't
written
think
out
it was
because the
either.
way I don't know that's just perfect. It was just perfect.
They had a match. It was Cena versus Sheamus with Triple H as a referee. Didn't really get too far into the match for it, so anything spectacular that happened before. Good old Vince McMahon, no chance if that's what you got. Came walking down with his little swag, you know,
Hmm.
let Triple H go. I was pretty.
That I don't. Um, really, I don't see no change
I
in
don't.
Triple H, and I don't see any change. I really don't because they were all talking about how people are getting jumped and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, the very first match,
Very first.
John Morrison get
Well,
jumped.
technically second. Well, okay. Very first official match was Morrison. Yeah, that was stupid. I don't like that little stable either. Like I told Ian, or like Ian said to me, that's like a weak stable. It's just a bunch of nobodies, pretty
I
much.
wouldn't call them
Well, I mean, there's
nobodies, but
somebodies. You got two champions in there, but Jack Swagger's a nobody now. I mean, he was champion, and he's nothing now. He's just Jack Swagger. Christian's just a little girl, so his name is Christina. Christina. I don't know. But I'm not too happy about John Laurinaitis being the interim general manager, even though I saw that coming. I really did. I didn't see Vince McMahon. I saw something like this happen. I saw something like Vince McMahon coming back. I saw something about John Laurinaitis stepping up to the plate. But I kind of figured it was going to be kind of like, something was going to happen to John Laurinaitis. I'm John Laurinaitis. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. I need a hose. I swear that dude needs a hose. What about John Laurinaitis some holes for Christmas?
he needs something because he's definitely hell at me. It just be killing.
And it's funny because Ian was talking about Johnny Ace, and I'm like, who the hell is Johnny Ace? Apparently, John Laurinaitis used to wrestle back in the day, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but now I'll be sitting here like, who the fuck is Johnny Ace? I'm not gonna look at Johnny Ace. I thought his name was John Laurinaitis. Then I type it in, and I'm like, oh.
Did you know Alberto used to be an MMA fighter?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he used to go by
another thing.
What was his name? I'll show you later on. But he got knocked
Alberto
out.
being an MMA fighter with that armbar.
Yeah, that's how he messed up Homeboy.
Really?
He really messed. Yeah, he messed up. Who was it? Was it Rey Mysterio?
He was the first dude
he came back again.
Alberto really wrestled was Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. He messed up Rey Mysterio when they first came out.
MMA moves and WWE. It's funny seeing Ricardo. Now after watching what Ian showed me with that promo for Ascension, and after finding out that pretty much Ricardo pays Alberto in a sense. Like Ricardo, like Alberto is like Ricardo is like Alberto's agent.
Right.
It's just crazy seeing that because when I watched him on the FCW stuff, I was like, wow, Ricardo is a badass. Like, cause he was.
That's why when I was talking to you, I can't remember one day, but I was telling you, I don't know whether they Ricardo does when he was fighting against John Cena. Right. I was telling you, dude, Ricardo's pretty badass, and I knew they wasn't gonna show Ricardo as Ricardo, you know. So I was like, I don't like how they're doing Ricardo. They should let Ricardo show off. He but they didn't do that. They just had him get pushed around. And
when I saw him tonight, I just saw him on a whole new level. Like, this nigga look like he could whoop everybody's ass right now, if need be.
Oh.
I'm doing a video right now. Damn. Don't mind the people in the back. Anyway. I don't forget what I was gonna say. Like you said, I don't see any change. Triple H is still there, so that means there's gonna be some kind of chaos. I was excited about, A-Truth coming back. I was pretty damn excited about that. I think I actually stood up and clapped when I saw them come out.
It was pretty raw.
And then they went up to their old shit. They jumped the hell out of CM Punk. Yep. And Triple H came running. I mean, that was a good ending. That was a good ending. John Laurinaitis, he kind of made me like when I found out he was the interim, I was like, nah, I really don't want to deal with this. This is gonna be whack. And then he brought them back, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe there's some good in him. And then he made a vengeance match with Punk and Triple H versus A-Truth, and I'm like, oh, all right, okay. You're on my good time, John. Just don't fuck up anymore.
The way I look at that is I look at it in two ways. It's gonna become a big thing, or it's going to die out after Vengeance. And either Triple H and CM Punk going to die out, or R-Truth and Miz are going to die out soon.
Yeah, they won't be a
So,
real like Miz. Like I don't know. I don't see Miz. I don't see Miz and Truth dying out anytime soon. Triple H and Punk, I can see them dying out because they don't really see eye to eye, so they can't really coexist too long as a tag team. Because, like Ian said, you see they're trying to build a tag team division. They're trying to build a tag team division.
trying is the key
And so
word.
far, all they really have as a tag team is Batman and Robin, who has a new song apparently.
Yep, they have a new
And
song.
matching attire. That's a lot of green and yellow, I'll tell you that.
They do switch colors though.
Oh, they do?
But, yeah, they got blue and they got green sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I noticed that the other day.
I think Evan's hurt. Evan, I think
Who?
he's hurt. You ain't see what happened to him? He went for
I
that.
can't
He went for that double knee on Swagger, and Swagger hit him with that powerbomb. Like while his knees were on Swagger's shoulder, he hit him with a powerbomb. Like he was like a flat, like a board. He was like straight out like a board and hit that damn mat hard, like a bitch. I think he's gonna be out for not for a long while, but for a little while. Cause that looked like it hurt. It hurt me just watching it. I had to rewind it and I watched it. That was hurt. Divas match went as stupid as usual.
Oh yeah, I didn't see what happened in Divas match. I don't think anything I missed.
Nothing. It was just Rosa and Superfly's daughter versus Kelly and Tamina. Yeah, Kelly and Eve, of course. And that's before JR got fired, which I just don't understand why JR got fired.
I don't understand that. And I came back. I left when the Divas match came on because I knew it was going to be black. And I walked in there and got me some cheesecake, which I'm about to do in a minute. And I came back, I walked back in the room, and JR was walking off, and we went to commercial, so I didn't know what was going on.
Got fired.
And then came back and said he got fired. And I was like,
why he got fired? I don't know. But John was going in on him, like, you're a redneck, blah, 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 and this and that. I'm like, ah, damn, John, it's kind of fucked up, homie. It was like, you're fired. JR shook King's hand and walked out. But overall, what kind of rating would you give tonight for a comeback, for an episode after a 55-man walkout? What kind of rating would you give this one? Do you think John Laurinaitis can, despite his raspy voice, be an actual good interim general manager?
Nope.
No, you don't like it.
Nope. They haven't had a good general manager on Raw since Eric Bischoff.
But see, at that time, Eric Bischoff was writing the stories too. So I mean, of course, having Eric Bischoff there is just going to make you money.
Because storyline, I don't know. I don't know because I thought Triple H was doing a good job with definitely this R-Truth thing. Then again, I know that Triple H ain't the person that's writing the storyline, but still he sold it enough that made you believe that he was. Whoever's writing is doing a good job. They're doing a good job writing right now, but I don't think it's going to work for a long time. They need somebody else. Mr. Man, he come back or something. I don't know.
Full-time GM now.
Who was the GM before?
Before all of this, Coachman, if I'm not mistaken.
No, before Coachman.
Before Coachman, Mike, whatever his name is. No, because Vince was GM for a while. He was GM and owner for a while, and then he stepped down from being GM. And I think around that time, that's when they started doing the guest GMs. Because that's when he got hurt. Remember, he got hurt and he took
I
that
can't
time off.
remember who.
And he was gone for like the longest time. And then
Yeah,
he came, and he took that time off for the longest time, and then he came back, and then that's when he got fired.
I can't remember who. Oh, genius. Shit. They need to bring Shane
I
O'Mac
bet you
back
it
or
is.
something.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know. They did say that nobody in the McMahon family, and Shane is in the McMahon family. Watch
True.
his Paul Heyman.
Oh,
I guarantee you that Paul
well,
Heyman comes
that'd be
back.
good too.
I guarantee you.
Nah.
And just and word on the street is Road Dogg is working WWE again, but not as a wrestler though. He's working backstage as an agent or something. I don't know. Ian told me I thought he was coming back to wrestle, and then I read the Wikipedia and it said he was like agent producer. I'm like, that's whack. And then Ian made a good point. Ian said that could be, they could give him a spot in the Royal Rumble, which I wouldn't be surprised.
Which is how Kevin Nash came back,
Be
really.
surprised if, they were counting down 3, 2, 1. And, oh, you didn't know? I'd be like, your ass better call somebody. I don't know. So overall rating, Raw tonight, October 10th, 2011, 1 out of 10.
I give it like a 6 or 7.
Even with the ending, you give it a 6 or a 7. Even
the ending is the reason why it got that high.
What about the beginning? What would you give the beginning before John Laurinaitis? Before Triple H got fired?
I mean, I like the whole Cena Punk and who was up there? Cena Punk and Sheamus. Yeah, I like that. I like that, and it was kind of like, oh, nobody's gonna be here. We just gonna show it. I could have watched 2 hours of Cena Punk, Sheamus, rotating to fight wrestlers. So I could have watched that
too, yeah.
Because it was better than half the stuff they put on the show.
I don't know,
anyway.
Because I feel that Orton probably came out sooner or later, but like,
yeah, Orton when it came out, Orton when it came out there, but still, the show was decent to me. It wasn't that great. It wasn't, even though the Awesome Truth came back. They kind of like that how Hell in a Cell. They kind of, oh snap, made you talked about it. But if you look at the whole show, Hell in a Cell was whack up until them, and then the whole show was whack up until them. So, I mean, I don't know.
It seemed like WWE's going for like the in at the end type shit. Like at the end, that's when they wait for something big to happen. It's like, okay, which is a good thing because it makes you like, okay, well, I wonder what's going to happen on next Monday, because ain't nobody worried about Friday or Tuesday or whenever the hell SmackDown.
Nobody watched SmackDown.
Anyways, you give it a 6. I give it about 5.5, maybe a 5 if you're lucky. But yeah, got some more shit to talk about. So until then, we're gonna cut this wrestling thing down until next Monday or until something else pops up. 2 weeks until Vengeance.
What's the card even look like? I mean, didn't they just have a pay-per-view yesterday?
The card so far is Show and
milking that money.
Del Rio and Cena, Punk and Triple H versus A-Truth. Probably Kelly and Beth Phoenix. Probably something with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. I guarantee you there's going to be a Orton is going for that belt. Because they're trying to, that's the whole reason they brought back the classic IC belt. Because they're trying to get that back in the picture. Mind you, back in the day, like he said, like they say, the IC belt was one of the biggest belts along with the being World Heavyweight Championship. So I think they're trying to bring that back into the picture. Like, okay, don't forget, okay, there's WWE, there's World Heavyweight, but don't forget there's the IC belt too. At the same time, when John Cena first got the US belt, you know what I mean? When John Cena first got the US belt, it was a big deal then too. But then that kind of faded off. Remember, he had the spinner and everything.
No, it wasn't that. It was that word life, dog. It was a Word Life theme song.
Whatever.
Come on now.
Anyways,
Chain Gang representing all day. Hold it down.
Darrius gives it a 6.
My
I give it a
bad, dog.
5.5. Raw was okay. Could have been better. Yeah. Anyways.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, next thing we're gonna talk about. Oh,
I'm
you got
Duckett.
the. No,
And we'll holler
and I'm
y'all.
Darrius.